Hello, my lovelies. Merry Christmas. So, I decided to do like a little Christmas special. I had my Christmas Eve with my family last night. We did our thing and it was awesome. It was amazing. Everybody got lots of stuff and it was good to see everybody. Um, I decided to do some Christmas true crime stories because, well, 'tis the season. And I found some on my Kindle or my iPad that I thought would work for tonight. They're short stories, so if they don't have a conclusion or something like that at the end of them, that's how they're supposed to be. Okay? Okay. So, 15 Christmas true crime stories for all you little freaks out there. Did you know that for every mystery, there is someone, somewhere, who knows the truth? Okay? That's just a given. Perhaps it's you. Perhaps it's somebody that you know. That's fact. It's kind of a scary fact to think about, too. All right. Our first story is the Johnston Holiday Party murder. This happened in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1894. A couple of friends, John and Amy Johnston, are hosting a Christmas dinner party and invite Daniel Heron and his wife as guests. All things are going well. Everyone is merry and bright until an argument breaks out between Daniel and John, whereby Daniel Heron attempts to shoot John in a fit of anger. Amy Johnston gets caught in the line of fire trying to protect her husband, maybe, and gets injured by the gunshot. She dies soon after, and Daniel Heron is arrested for manslaughter. Motive: drunken friends fighting lead to party guest Daniel Heron attempting to shoot the host of the party, John Johnston. I don't know. We don't really have a conclusion to that. It says solved, but it almost sounds like it could have been, and I don't know this for a fact, this is just my speculation. Everybody's got their own opinions, but I think maybe the husband and wife weren't getting along so good, and he was sort of a distraction, and yeah, I think he wanted his wife dead. Now that's just speculation. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's true. The Holaver murders happened December 24th, 2002 in Middletown, Pennsylvania. So we got lots of shit going down in Pennsylvania, it seems like. It says deceased 3. Fast forward a century later and 3-hour drive away to Middleton, Pennsylvania, where a violent Christmas Eve would forever change the Holaver family. Ernest Holaver Jr., who is a convicted child molester and pedophile, assaulted both his daughters prior to the murder, broke into his former home with the help of his brother, and killed his wife and daughters. He now sits on death row, with any appeals at the state level being exhausted, while his brother is currently serving a 12 to 25-year sentence for his help in the crime. That's just sick and disgusting. So, okay, that's a true story. That actually happened in Pennsylvania. See, a lot of these don't have a conclusion. They tell you what the crime was, a motive possibly, and then what the punishment was. So obviously he's on death row. It doesn't say whether he's still sitting on death row or if he's dead or not. So I'm not sure about that one. And number 3 story is the Dallas Christmas killings. It says solved, but Christmas Day 2011 in Dallas, Texas, a father who dressed as Santa Claus went to his home where his family was holding a Christmas party. Using the 2 guns he brought with him, he executed his entire family and then killed himself. I've actually recently just watched a show about this story, so I know this one quite a bit better. Motive: the killer, Azizola Bob, I can't even pronounce the last name, it's like Yazdan Pana or something like that, was under financial and marital stress, and the holidays triggered these feelings of rage. However, the motive will never be fully known why he walked into his former home and executed everybody. It's just sick. And then he took his own life, like a fucking coward. The missing Sodder children. This is unsolved, okay? Never been solved. Christmas Eve, 1945. Fayetteville, West Virginia, deceased 5 with a question mark. A mysterious fire destroyed the home of George and Jenny Sauter while they slept on Christmas Eve. 1945, George and Jenny and 4 of their children managed to escape, but the other 5 children were never seen again. Holy shit, there was 9 children in that house? Wow. A series of unfortunate obstacles prevented George from attempting to rescue his children. The ladder was missing, vehicles not starting, windows not opening, and no operator being on duty that night at the fire hall. That seems really suspicious. No remains of the children were ever found, and grief-stricken George and Jenny Sauter searched relentlessly for their missing children, exploring numerous leads, conducting their own investigations, and maintaining a billboard for the missing children along a highway in West Virginia. Motive? A possible explanation out of several is that George was an outspoken critic of Benito Mussolini and of fascism, which made him a target of the Sicilian mafia, since George was originally from Italy. So, conclusion for that one, I think he was hanging out with the wrong crowd, made some bad decisions, and they might not have went after him, but they went after the family. Probably the kids. 5 kids just fucking missing, gone, without a trace. They never found their bodies, nothing. It's very sad, very, very, very sad. That's why I still, to this day, tell my children, even my adult children, when they walk out the door, make good choices. I fucking mean it, man. Make good choices. Okay, deadly Chinese food delivery. This is also unsolved. December 23rd, 1993. I was 10 when this happened. Excuse me. Happened in Black Hill County, Durham, UK. Deceased 1. Paul Logan worked as a delivery driver for a Chinese restaurant in Black Hill County, Durham, and was called out to deliver food to Blue House Farm on December 23rd, 1993. He was told when he arrived that no one had ordered food. His bludgeoned body, was later found in an area of farmland close to his vehicle, parked at the end of the lane leading toward the farm. The killer or killers have never been found, and the family is still hoping for information about what happened or someone who knows what happened to come forward. That's never been solved. That's fucking crazy. He just went somewhere, and this actually happens. This type of shit actually happens a lot. People call in to order food, and they never see their family member again because people are getting kidnapped, thrown into sex trafficking, or whatever, just killed and thrown in a fucking, dumpster. I don't know. It's crazy. We live in a crazy world. I get so upset when I read true crime, but at the same time, I can't stop reading it. I like it a lot. I hate that it happens, but you know what I mean. All right. The Ashland tragedy. Murder, a mob, and a militia in Kentucky solved. It says solved. December 23rd, 1881. That was a long-ass motherfucking time ago. Ashland, Kentucky, deceased 3. Just before Christmas, 1881, a horrible series of events occurred in Ashland, Kentucky. A home owned by the Gibbons family was found ablaze in the early hours of Christmas Eve. And upon further investigation, 3 dead bodies were found. Those of Fanny Gibbons, her brother Robert, and their next-door neighbor, Emma Thomas. However, these individuals were brutally murdered in the Gibbons home before the fire. Before the fire. 3 men ended up convicted of the crime. A bricklayer named George Ellis, who confessed to the crime, and his co-workers William Neal and Ellis Craft, whom he named as accomplices. But the story doesn't end with the conviction and sentencing of the accused. Following the conviction of George Ellis to life in prison, a vigilante mob would encounter a militia group of the governors in a showdown that shook this small town and has become one of the darkest chapters in Kentucky history. That is fucked up. Fucked up, y'all. Good thing they made up for it. That delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? Yeah. I'm so kidding. I'm just cracking jokes. Probably at the worst time. Shouldn't be cracking jokes. Okay. Alrighty then. So this one's called Bloody Christmas. If it's anything like the movie, it might be pretty good. If you like, cheesy pieces of shit Christmas movies, I love them. They're so good. Bloody Christmas, Christmas Eve, 1951, LA, California. A police force undergoing reforms that began in 1938 to raise the entrance standards, training, and pay for LAPD police officers was not able to quell the deteriorating relations with the Mexican-American community and improve perceptions of crime on behalf of this community. The strong anti-Mexican sentiment led to racial profiling and often violent encounters between police responding to calls involving Mexican Americans, regardless of their innocence. On this particular Christmas, LAPD officers assaulted a group of men in Riverside, which led to the arrest of these men hours later at their homes. LAPD officers attending a department Christmas party caught wind of the fight, and 50 of these officers took it upon themselves to avenge their fellow officers by inflicting severe beatings on 6 prisoners for over 90 motherfucking minutes, causing major injuries on the arrested men from earlier that evening. There was a cover-up, internal investigation, and even an eventual grand jury hearing into those involved, and the LAPD without much effect. Meaning the motherfuckers got away with it. Isn't that horseshit? God, a lot of that shit going on too, Everywhere. It's all over. Okay, this one's called Never Talk About Religion, Politics, and Sex. It says solved. Christmas Day, 1885. Oh yeah, definitely don't talk about that shit back then. And it's even worse now. You can't talk about shit now without somebody getting butt hurt and throwing a fucking huge fit. It's just, it's insane. Okay, this happened in Mangum, Texas. The braggadocious trio of Jack Doyle, Don Sullivan, and Buck Hannon led to hurt feelings when insults began involving Jack Doyle's wife and Don Sullivan. A fight ensued, and Doyle shot Sullivan dead with his revolver. But good old Buck Hannon avenged Sullivan by following Doyle back to his hotel where he shot and killed him. Yikes, eye for an eye situation, okay? Since this was the late 1800s, no Western stick-up would be complete without the guilty jumping on his trusty steed and escaping the Texas town on horseback like Buck Hannon did, riding off into the sunset, more or less. And it says solved, but it doesn't give us really, doesn't give us like, excuse me, Fredward. Totally just grabbed my ass. Doesn't really give us the conclusion, just tells us kind of the true crime that happened, when, where, that type of thing, okay? The Lawson family murders says solved, Christmas Day, 1921, in Germantown, North Carolina, 8 deceased. Wow, that's a lot. Charlie Lawson was a farmer who lived with his wife and 7 children in Germantown, North Carolina. Christmas 1929 would be their last day together. Prior to Christmas, Charlie took his family into town for new clothes and a holiday family portrait. But despite the otherwise enjoyable pre-Christmas outing, the family would not live beyond Christmas Day. Charles Lawson murdered his wife and 6 of his 7 children in a tragic, cold-blooded killing spree that resulted in killing himself afterwards. I don't even have anything to say to that. That's insane. Okay? Ugh. Their eldest son, 16-year-old Arthur, was spared only because he had gone to spend time with a friend. The Lawson family was found by extended family who had come to visit on Christmas Day. Motive? No one knows the motive for Lawson's murder spree, though some speculate he may have been having an incestuous relationship with his eldest daughter, Marie, and that she might have been pregnant with his child. That's fucking sick. Ugh, this makes me sick. Some of these are insane. All right, this one's called The Thing About Pam. It says that it was solved. This happened in December 27th, 2011. That really wasn't that long ago. I mean, yeah, it actually was. It's going to be 2023. Time is flying by. Okay. Russ Faria came home from a game night 2 days following Christmas to find his wife Betsy dead. He was charged and convicted of her murder despite his protests of innocence. But what looked like a signed and sealed case was only the beginning of what a diabolical scheme that set off a chain of events, leaving one man dead and another implicated. Truth is stranger than fiction, of course. This original series from Keith Morrison and Dateline defies all expectations. I actually watched that Dateline episode. It was crazy. You thought you knew who did this or who did that, and then a new clue came along and you were like, whoa, fuck me, I'm wrong. And then another thing, and then it just kept going. It was just out of control. I think I had to turn the fucking channel because I was just like, my head was spinning. I was like, I don't know, I can't figure this out. So, anywho, should check it out. Okay, this one's called The Murder of Margaret Bell. It was solved, apparently, Christmas Day, 1901, Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn. Deceased 2. A story of suspected infidelity and jealousy. That is quite a popular topic for murder. Although John Bell and his wife, Margaret, were married 15 years when Margaret found out she was pregnant, John didn't believe the baby was his. Of course not. He had no evidence that Margaret had been unfaithful to him, but proceeded to vent his suspicions by verbally abusing, threatening, and bullying his wife. John had become so embroiled in his distrust and jealous thoughts that he confronted Margaret with a gun, intending to kill her then himself. Margaret desperately tried to defend herself and her unborn child, but John fired his gun and shot Margaret through the left eye. Fuck. John then became so overwhelmed by guilt, went outside to confess his crime to a policeman. So he didn't kill himself. He went out and he tattled on himself and probably spent some time in jail and probably haunted by a one-eyed ghost. For real. Okay, this one is a very, very familiar one, and it's just a short little paragraph, but the murder of John Benet Ramsey. Unsolved still to this day, but there has been some new evidence brought to light. They've been talking about it lately. This happened Christmas Day, 1996 in Boulder, Colorado. Okay, deceased 1. The murder of a child is especially shocking and devastating no matter the time of year. This is a sad story. In 1996, a 6-year-old girl named John Benet, popular on beauty pageant circuit, had her life taken from her at some point in the early hours of Christmas Day. Her death consumed headlines for weeks and months following Christmas, and there have been hundreds of books, TV documentaries, and articles written about what has happened and what people speculate happened since her murder has never been solved. There is a movie about it. I think it's called like Perfect Murder, Perfect Town or something like that. I watched it years and years ago, but I know a lot. I've read a lot of people's opinions and stuff about what they think, what the speculation is. The mom did it, the brother did it. A lot of people are pointing their fingers at the brother did it, and the parents were trying to cover up. Not sure. I don't know if we'll ever actually know. It's just really sad. I don't think anybody, and this is again just my opinion, I don't think anybody on the outside had anything to do with it. I think it was an inside job. Just going by all the evidence, and I'm not a detective, but I am a woman, so I was kind of born with that instinctual, yeah. I don't think it was an outside job. I think it was an inside job, and God rest her soul. Sweet little John Benet. Okay. This one is called America's Largest Mass Murder of Family Members. Wow, it says solved. Happened in December 26th, 1987 in Dover, Arkansas. And then December 28th, 1987 in Russellville, Arkansas. 16 deceased. Oh, okay, it's really that type of thing. Okay, America experienced its largest mass murdering of family members in the days surrounding Christmas in 1987. The deliberate and gruesome killings of 14 members of the Simmons family by Ronald Gene Simmons, Sr., followed by the murders of 2 other individuals and the wounding of 4 more innocent people during his rampage killing spree on December 22nd, 26th and 28th in 1987, was a monstrous tragedy. Simmons was charged with 16 counts of murder. He was found guilty. He was sentenced to death and executed in 1990. There's no motive. The motherfucker snapped and just killed everybody. Killed everybody that, came in through his path or whatever. I don't know. People are fucked up. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. Okay, this one is called the Stagger Lee Murder, and it was solved Christmas 1895. Okay, this happened in St. Louis, Missouri. Deceased 1. Lee Shelton was a pimp and gambler who became part of a folklore for murdering Billy Lyons over an apparent theft of a Stetson cowboy hat. Well, they are quite spendy. On Christmas night, 1895, Shelton and Lyons were both drinking heavily inside a saloon. Where they got into a heated political argument. Fuck, guys, don't you know the rule? When you're drinking, you never talk about religion and politics. Never, never, never. This is coming from an ex-bartender. It's a no-no. Okay, let me go back a little bit. They got into that argument. William Billy Lyons was said to have grabbed Shelton's Stetson hat off his head and refused to give it back. Shelton proceeded to shoot Lyons in the stomach, retrieved his hat, and walked away. Never touch a cowboy's hat. Fucking, that's gospel. Shelton was arrested a short time later as Billy Lyons would die from his injuries. Shelton died from tuberculosis in 1912 after spending a combined 15 years in prison. The 1895 murder of Bill Lyons by Lee Shelton was the inspiration behind the popular song Stagger Lee. I don't think I've actually ever heard this song. I might have to check it out. I do know a song from way back in the day called Streets of Laredo, and it was actually one of my grandma's favorite songs, and it was about a cowboy that got shot and laid in the streets of Laredo and just died, and nobody really cared. It was really sad. But it's a good song. Okay, this happened. Excuse me. This happened in Los Angeles, California. Deceased 10. I'll try not to do those accents, but sometimes they just come out. I think I have a lot of personalities just roaming around inside me, and sometimes they gotta get out. It's true. A week after Bruce Pardo's divorce was finalized, a week before Christmas 2008, he went to his former in-laws' home with intentions to harm his ex-wife Sylvia and her family. The most disturbing part of this plan was that he showed up to the house dressed as Santa Claus, and when an 8-year-old girl answered the door, he shot her. He shot her in the face. In the fucking face. Yeah, this is I just read the story not that long ago. It's fucked. It's so fucked. He proceeded to shoot a total of 9 members of the family before setting the house on fire, injuring several others before running away and ending his life at his brother's house after suffering severe burns in the house explosion. He took the coward way out. Oh, and that's not even all of it. He left a fucking bomb in his car. So when they found his vehicle with the Santa suit, the bloody burnt Santa suit and other shit in it, the fucking car exploded. I don't think it killed anybody. I think people got hurt, but yeah. He wanted to make sure a shit ton of people died before he took the chicken shit way out. Sick. Sick, sick, sick. This is called Murder in Madison. It was solved. Happened Christmas Day, 1977. Madison, Wisconsin. Deceased, 1. A man leads police to a body buried in a snowbank on Christmas Day, 1977. This murder in Madison, Wisconsin would captivate the public with a tale of sex, murder, drugs, and money. Because those are usually the things people murder over. I mean, no joke. Final thoughts? Hope to never upgrade the list. I'm not sure where that comes from in the whole story, but yeah. Oh, I suppose it comes from the list of, tale of sex, murder, drugs, and money. Maybe they're talking about that. I don't know. And I think that's the 15 because it's not showing me anymore. So I know some of the stories didn't really come to like a full conclusion. They weren't full stories, but told you the date of the crime, where it happened. You can go back in this video and you can check out any of the stories that I told you about, maybe look a little further into them. I was just reading a little bit about this earlier, and I was, I thought, oh, I'm going to do one that has like a bunch of little stories, And I don't know if you'll like that or not. If you don't, that's fine. I'll try not to do the short stories anymore. I'll do the stories that have, the beginning, the middle, the end, so we know the whole fucking thing. But sometimes the mystery is the best part of it. I mean, it is for me. So that's what I like. But let me know how you liked this story. If you want me to do more, top 5s, top 10s, top 15 for this one. Obviously, I won't really be doing any more Christmas stuff since Christmas is almost over. And I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I did. I had a great time with my family. I love when they're around. I don't feel sad. I feel whole. It's just wonderful. If I had a mansion, I would make all my children move back with me. And if they heard me say that, they'd probably be like, no. But, you know how kids are. Anyways, that's all I have for tonight. Let me know in the comments for next week's story. If you want me to do true crime or paranormal. I haven't really done a whole lot of paranormal, and I got some really good stories. I got some true stories, things that actually happened to me. So I may do that next week. But if you have any other ideas, go ahead and let me know. I'm super busy, especially after Christmas up until like Valentine's Day. So for the next like 6 to 8 weeks, I'm super, super busy. I released 3 singles in 3 months, which is fucking amazing considering I am sick all the time. I have chronic illness. I have a lot of things going on. I'm still doctoring because we're still trying to figure me out. I'm a whole mystery myself. Also, I am working on an album. It's actually an EP, 5 songs. EP is just a mini album. It's going to come out on Valentine's Day. I'm super excited. It's 5 songs, and the EP is called House of Pleasure. Obviously, it's coming out on Valentine's Day, so that kind of sets the motif for the, it's baby making music. I'm not going to lie. Pretty good. Some sexy shit. I think you'll like it. I hope you like it. What else do I have for you? I think that's about it for now. I'm running out of time. I'm at like 20-minute video already. Jeez. Like my little outfit. It's lingerie, but I'm not showing too much. Just enough. Anyways, I hope you all liked the story. If you didn't, I won't do those anymore. Let me know in the comments what you want for next week. I think we should start doing some more paranormal stuff because I do have lots of info for that. I've got my own stories, things that have happened to me growing up. More recently, actually, I have a lot of freaky ones that I really want to share. Yeah, that's all I got. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Stay warm, stay safe. This weather sucks ass. We should all go to the beach. Maybe we could sometime. I don't know. Love you. Have a great week. Good night.